Usually with traditional genealogy, you're starting from yourself and then you're tracing back generation by generation to the ancestors that make up your family. And in this situation, we actually had to go in the opposite direction, which is, why I use the term reverse engineering. We started with an ancestor and we traced it forward to find the descendants. And usually people would assume that that would be easier, but in a lot of ways it's not, because sometimes you end up with dead ends. My name is Nicka Sewell-Smith and I'm a professional genealogist. Threading the past to the present is important for me. I think it is for those of us that are Black, because we are such a central part of the history of America. And if our story is not told and included in American history, it just isn't a complete story.
I always thought it was important to know where you came from and to understand a piece of your history. For me, learning more about my history has made me more curious about my ancestors and made me feel empowered and complete. Knowing a small portion of your past does not completely define, who you are. It's like you're missing a part of the story. And it's almost how I like to see it. It's like reading a book, but you're missing some of the main characters in that book. So though it may be painful to learn, some of your history, I think it's very important to learn it and to just know, where you come from.
We were super lucky in this scenario that we had Kelly and her mother who had put together this amazing tree that really confirmed that we had the right people. So it was almost like we sort of met halfway, where we started in the past and, went forward to the present. They were starting from the present, going back to the past. And it's almost like we just crossed this bridge and we, got to shake hands and exchange information.
One of the first things African-American people did when they were liberated is write letters to the Freedmen's Bureau or to newspapers searching for their lost relatives. And there are thousands, and Hawkins' letter is one of the most moving examples of this genre.
Hawkins Wilson is this formerly enslaved man who wanted to find his family. And these people that he was seeking and that he was searching for were so important to him that he was going to, go into that Freedmen's Bureau field office, recite what he knew, just with the hope that person was going to help him. And you find out that the letter was directed to the wrong place. That's what drew me to Hawkins.
Learning that I am a descendant from an enslaved person, I was not surprised, especially once I saw my DNA, results. You knew that was going to be, the case. Reading about his letters and just hearing more about Hawkins' life, it really did seem like it was a script in a movie.
My name is Hawkins Wilson, and I am their brother who was sold at, really? Sheriff's sale, and used to belong to Jackson Talley and was bought by M. Riot Boynton, CH. Wow. You will please send the enclosed letter to my sister Jane or of her family. If she is dead, I am very respectful, your obedient servant, Hawkins Wilson. Wow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I keep saying wow. But it's just so rich that he remembers the journey from Virginia to Texas, and you still remember 24 years being enslaved, captive. That's how I would see it.
This letter has been taught in colleges and universities across the world and high schools. People have used it as an example of the ways that enslaved people remembered how they were sold to and fro and from this coast to that coast. But it has a tenderness to it that it's just so hard not to connect with him on an emotional level when you read it and when you encounter it. And of course, you wonder if he ever saw the people, and who's left behind. You want to know who the remnants are that are left behind.
I didn't know where, I got the drive to want to break open, those closed doors. But I do know me as an individual, I'm too very persistent. To me, a closed door is a challenge, but I work harder until I can accomplish the goal or until that outcome has changed for me.
Our ancestors are around us every single day. They live with us. You know, we are walking around carrying their DNA, and so many of us don't even know their names and we don't know their stories. And so I kind of feel like what I do is to help kind of bring those things to life, help individuals and families reconnect with those people that they know innately, but they don't know that they know them until they encounter them through records and through stories and things like that.
One thing that I would tell people if they were interested in going on the journey of finding their family is just do it. It's just that simple. Go ahead and build that tree on Ancestry and, you know, just dig. And I do recommend people investing in that because you're investing, you know, in yourself. You just never know what you may unveil. That Pandora box almost is that you're opening, but it's a beautiful experience regardless of what you may learn. This Juneteenth, I'm going to celebrate it differently because I do believe that, you know, my grandfather had some type of dealings with, you know, the early parts of Juneteenth. But I do encourage everyone to just start it and don't give up and do your research. And you just never know what you may unveil.